It's 2021, and even though quizzing has, for the time being, been pushed into the four walls of our homes, the pursuit for excellence remains unstoppable. Hello everyone, welcome to the ProQuizzin League Battle of the Youth, a showdown between the brightest young quizzing brains of the country, no question about it. This is Dhruv Mukherjee, and I am joined by my good friend AJ, Arijit Sen.
Hello everyone, what an exciting time to be not just a quizzer, but also a viewer. We're bringing a series of fantastic quizzes for the youth as we see the battle of the youth as part of the ProQuizzin League. We're ready with match 1, which is brands and business. This is a series of quizzes where we'll have multiple quizzes on multiple topics. So we're ready with the first quiz. Let's have a look at the teams.
I am so excited about these 6 teams, Arijit. 6 teams from 6 of the biggest hubs of quizzing across India. Take it away. Let's find out who these 6 teams are, AJ.
Right, so we've got representation from the Chennai erudites. We have Diganto Sarkar from Maharaja Sayaji Rao University in Baroda. We have the Mumbai geeks represented by Pradyumna Chaudhary from IIT Kanpur. We also have the Delhi brainiacs represented by Partho Dhar from IIT Delhi. We have representation from the Kolkata Wizards by Ayush Patni from IIT Guwahati. We have Ahmedabad intellects represented by Abhimanyu Bharade from Delft University of Technology. Coincidentally, Ahmedabad intellects, this is a home match for them. We also have the Bengaluru Aces represented by Ujon Shen, who is from the Jagannath Gupta Institute of Medical Sciences.
And just to explain to our viewers, home match for the Ahmedabad Intellects means they get to choose the seating order, which is the order in which the participants will answer, and they also get to choose the direction of the questions in the third round of the quiz. More on the individual rounds as and when we come to them. I am so excited. I'm sure the participants are excited. AJ is excited. We're all excited. Let's not waste any more time and find out what the first round of the ProQuizzin League Battle of the Youth first quiz on brands and business.
All right, so round 1 is called Knives Out. In this round, each team gets 1 direct question. They'll get 3 clues per question. And if they get it right on the first clue, they get 150 points. If they get it right on the second clue, they get 100 points. And if they get it right on the third clue, they get a 50. There is no passing. Each team, like I said, gets 1 direct question. What a great opportunity for all of the teams to get off the mark.
Viewers will also see there's something called the 2x card. This is a tactical weapon in the hands of the participants. If they are short of an answer, they can use it. They can say, I'm using the 2x card, in which case they get double the points that they're likely to get. So without further ado, AJ, tell us what the first question of the first round is going to be.
Right, so the first question of the ProQuizzin League Battle of the Youth is for the Chennai erudites. The first clue for 150 points. An alumna of Madras Christian College and IIM Calcutta, I started my career with Boston Consulting Group and Motorola. Okay, right. So there's a very subtle clue in the question. I hope the teams can pick up on that. Direct for Chennai erudites for 150.
Sundar Pichai.
Well, he's gone for a guess. Unfortunately, it's the wrong one. I don't think he's picked up the subtle clue.
Right, he hasn't. And let's move to the second one for 100. At Johnson & Johnson, I helped launch Stay-Free Secure Sanitary Napkins in India, overcoming restrictions on ads and social taboos. This is for 100 points. We want the teams to get off the mark.
Piyush Pandey.
He's gone for Piyush Pandey. That's incorrect for 50 points. AJ?
Right, so a former CEO of a globally famous beverage company. I also serve on the boards of Amazon and the ICC. Let's see if he gets it now.
This is Indra Nooyi.
And he's right. This is Indra Nooyi. AJ, I believe the subtle hint you were talking about was the use of the word alumna as opposed to alumni, which would indicate
Ab-
a female old member of the institution.
Absolutely, Dhruv. That would actually take away the two other guesses that he came up with, but he's finally got it on the last one. So Diganto's off the mark with a 50. We'll now move to question number 2.
A competitive college middle distance runner myself, I formed an American running team called the Athletics West in 1977. This is for the Mumbai Geeks.
Is this the founder of Under Armour by any chance?
I think they need
Yes,
a
Under
name.
Armour he says, but that's the wrong answer.
Early days, I built my business selling footwear out of the back of my Plymouth Valiant at various athletics meetings. I beg your pardon. It doesn't look confident as yet.
100 points up for grabs on this one.
He doesn't look sure. He's passed. All right. My memoir, released in 2016, is called Shoe Dog. Should be a shoe in for the right answer.
This is the founder of Nike. I forgot his name.
That isn't good enough, I'm afraid, Pradumna. He's missed out on 50 points. Let's take a look at the answer. The answer is, well, he's right about the fact that it is the founder of Nike, but we needed the name, and the name is Phil Knight.
Yes,
Right.
I have read the book. It's next to my table. I forgot the name.
Oh, that's the worst feeling in the world, isn't it, AJ?
What are the odds? What are the odds of an answer lying in front of your eyes, but you can't pick it up and just answer the question for a cool 150 points? Unfortunate, but that's the name of the game, really. We'll now move to question number 3. One team has scored 50, the other one 0. Let's see what Partho does. Though I was born in Karachi, my grandfather turned down a personal invitation from Jinnah to shift to Pakistan after the partition.
I'll guess Jamshedji
For
Tata.
150 points. Jamshedji Tata is his guess, not quite. We'll go to the second clue. I dropped out of Stanford University at the age of 21 to join my family business of vegetable oils and completed my degree 3 decades later. Big clue in the second hint over
This
there.
is the Wipro. I'll just Narayan Murthy.
Oh my goodness. He's going to kick himself.
He's figured it out, but he's not quite got the answer right. In 2013, I agreed to give away at least half of my wealth by signing the Giving Pledge, the first Indian to do so. He's almost there, but he doesn't remember the name. Well, no points for the funder. You have to give us the name. So that's not the right answer. Let's have a look at the answer.
Azim Premji. And there's a wry smile on Pradumna's face. He knows exactly what Partho's going through right now. So close and yet so far.
Absolutely. The two teams who had worked out most of the answer but didn't quite go the distance.
Let's see what Kolkata Wizards can come up with. One of the country's leading shipyards cater to the requirements of the Indian Navy and the Indian Coast Guard. This is obviously one of the tougher ones.
Next clue.
Yeah, he's asked for another clue. The second clue, question worth 100 points. Nationalized in 1960, I built the INS Ajay, India's first indigenous warship. Any clue, AJ?
I don't actually. This looks like a toughie.
Next clue.
Yeah, it's worth 50 points now. The third clue on your screens, founded in 1884 on the eastern bank of the Hooghly River. So there's a Kolkata connect right there, AJ. Ayush Patni representing the Wizards. Can he
Might be a
conjure the right
Kolkata
answer?
connect, but this
Can he conjure the right answer?
looks like a Kolkata connect, but it's still a toughie. It's got Ayush thinking.
The
And
GRSE. Well, that was a bit beyond me as well, AJ, and I think even you were floundering on this one, right?
Absolutely, Dhruv. This was a toughie. Again, luck of the draw. You do get a question on Calcutta, or at least in and around Calcutta for the Kolkata Wizards. But this was something which I think the other teams would have struggled as well. Okay, right. So let's move to question number 5. The first clue, a mustachioed man named Julius. This should be a sitter.
I'll be guessing this is Pringles.
Okay, they've guessed Pringles, and I suppose that is the right answer. Absolutely, Pringles.
Home run
And
by the home team. Well done.
The first team to get 150, getting it on the first clue. What a start by the home team.
Now look at him
And,
smile there. Look at him smile.
He's so
done the
happy
best he
to
can.
get off the mark with a 150. And these are the other clues, but he didn't need them, of course. He cracked it on the first one to get a cool 150 points.
All right, so all the pressure now on the Bengaluru Aces for the last question of the first round. Ujan Sen is all set to answer his question. Abhimanyu right now sitting comfortable, breathing a sigh of relief. He's done the best he possibly could. Let's take a look at the first question, the first clue of the last question. Created in the year of India's independence, cheap to produce, light to carry, little recoil. So we're into firearms, I believe. Are you into guns, AJ?
Well, I wouldn't tell you if I was.
Good.
But let's see if the Bengaluru Aces manage to ace this one.
Okay. I'll take Bengaluru.
Is unfortunately incorrect. I have claimed more lives in the last century than the atomic bombs dropped in Japan. This is the beauty of this quizzing format. You get these little nuggets of trivia that just make you think about things in a different way. Whatever the answer is, has claimed more lives than the atomic bombs. Think about that for a second.
I'll say like the Colt gun.
Gone for the Colt gun. That's also incorrect. Symbol of revolution in the flags of Vietnam, Afghanistan, Colombia, and Mozambique. This, I think, turns it into a quizzing chestnut. Should be easy enough for Ujan Sen and the Aces.
And I can see the other team smiling. They were wishing that it was their direct.
It's the AK-47. You can see the O's and the R's.
All right, and that brings us to the end of round 1. We've had a very exciting first round, but clear leader after round 1 is the home team, Ahmedabad Intellects, with 150 points. We also had another team scoring, which was Diganto on his last clue for the Chennai Erudites. The rest of the teams are yet to get off the mark, but this is just round 1. We've got 3 rounds to go. Dhruv, why don't you tell us about round 2?
Round 2 is a chance for all the teams on 0 to actually take the lead in the quiz. And that's because this round is called Lock and Load. 6 questions clockwise, but there is passing. And there's not just passing, there's differential passing, which means if you get your direct, it's worth 100 points. If you get it wrong or you pass it, it goes to the next team who gets 150 points. If it passes, the next team gets 200 points. So it's basically 50 into the number of passes. So if you're the 6th team answering, wow, you have got a chance to get 350 points in one question. From 0 to 350, huge leap. It's going to be a very exciting round. We're ready to lock and load.
And the first question for round 2 is a direct for the Chennai Erudites. Let's have a look at the question. All right. So this is an entity based in Arizona. They've been selling audiovisual equipment for decades. Certain Mr. Carson is the CEO. But I think the big clue in the question over there is he thought of it when he was attending a trade show in February 2020. Right, so February 2020, I think we would know the significance of that time. Dhruv, I'm sure you worked out the answer by now from the telling clues in the question.
Maybe, maybe not. Diganto looks a little unsure.
Hard to tell from the other teams if they have worked it out.
Okay, so
But
I have
remember
an
this
answer.
passes.
Can I? BenQ.
Not quite. Moving to the Mumbai Geeks.
Is it Motorola?
Not Motorola either. Passes to the Brainiacs.
I'll guess Sennheiser.
Sennheiser said the Brainiacs is incorrect. Wizards.
DHL.
It's not DHL.
I'll say Alltech Lansing.
Is that your guess, AJ?
No, it wasn't.
I'll say something like some COVID.
That's an interesting answer.
Yeah.
And it's the right one.
What a brilliant answer. And that gets him 350 points. The Bengaluru Aces have raced to 350 points. What a cracker of an answer. Well deserved 350 points there.
That's an excellent, excellent answer. Thinking out of the box, thinking differently, deserves to be in the lead. And he is in the lead, straight from 0 to 350. Fantastic. Lots of pressure on the Mumbai Geeks. Second question for the Mumbai Geeks. When showcaused by the Delhi government, he had to clarify that his contract made no reference to harmful tobacco content in the product. Ignorance to the fact that he was endorsing tobacco under the garb of a premium grade variety of something consumed by many as an alternative to cigarettes. Doesn't look confident.
I remember this being in the news, Dhruv.
Yes, it was.
So this is that James Bond guy who he replaced. I think he did.
My goodness. Pradumna refuses to answer the question.
This is
Passes to Partho. It's a gift for him now.
This is what we call chimping and quizzing.
That's right.
Yeah. I'll guess Sean Connery.
Wrong Bond. Ayush.
Served on a platter to
Pass.
Kolkata.
Kolkata passes.
He's
Abhimanyu.
fast.
I'm not 100% sure, but Pierce Brosnan.
What an answer there. 300 points. Or is that 250 points, I believe? Pierce Brosnan it is. You remember these ads from a few years back, AJ?
Of course. And these were head scratchers. And I think that Pierce Brosnan had no clue what he was advertising for either. It was, one of those typical Bond movie scenes, and the last thing you saw was him enjoying some pan masala over there. So very good answer.
The Intellects back in the lead with 400. Direct now to the Brainiacs. AJ, take it away.
Right, question number 3 for the Delhi Brainiacs. Cedric is the first concept car built by the Volkswagen Group. What we want to know is how was the name arrived at? Right, so it's a concept car which tried to reach or achieve level 5 autonomy.
I love these kinds of questions, AJ, because you come up with such creative answers. You get to hear such creative answers.
I'll guess it comes from the German for 5 is how they come at Cedric.
Not
Okay,
correct.
so you saw level 5, not quite the answer. moves to Kolkata Wizards. Ayush.
Was Cedric the name of the first concept AI that was there?
They've gone for straightforward answers so far. None of the creative stuff yet. Passes to the intellects.
Okay, sorry. This is a not. I'm guessing this is an autonomous car. If you're autonomous, you can do everything on your own.
Interesting guess, but doesn't
Not
quite
a great one.
All right.
explain why
No.
Cedric.
I'll pass.
Ujan passes.
So I'm guessing this is probably one of those old German cities which had this autonomy, and level 5 is because when Hitler used to give levels to, so like level 5 is has to do with Cedric, so SS and Nazis.
That's the creative answer we were waiting for, but it's incorrect, unfortunately. The geeks, Pradumna.
So I'm guessing something similar to like they put some sort of ballot to all the employees and they just drew a lottery out of it.
Okay, so this is the first question that actually comes back to us.
As
I'm
we
sure
say,
it'll be an interesting
as we
answer.
say, comes back to me.
So self-drive.
Absolutely.
Oh, as simple as that. Cedric, self-driving car.
Oh, there was so what? See when you see these answers on screen, you really scratch your head and think, why didn't I think of that? That's a brilliant question, and really good funda there, and it was
Beauty of
totally work out.
hindsight. All right, Ayush and the Wizards. Pretended to be a Christian during the occupation of Hungary, studied at LSE under Karl Popper, inspired his grant-making network, went into finance, currency speculator, heart of several juicy conspiracy theories. So that's really whittled it down to very, very few names if you think about it. Currency speculator, conspiracy theories.
Really hope the teams catch on to these clues.
Ayush doesn't look sure. He's looking to the heavens for a clue. Will the muse of quizzing speak through him?
Pass.
Nope, not in this question. Abhimanyu?
Charles Ponzi.
Wrong con man.
But he's getting there, I think. Let's see if the other teams can chim.
Yeah. I'll say
Yeah.
Is this Henry Ford?
Not Ford. Pradumna? Let's hope he has the name.
No, nothing.
No description at least. Thank God. Partho.
Hello. Yeah. I'll guess this is George Soros.
And that's the right answer. George Soros. Famous in the early 90s.
And not just that, I think that was worth 350. Yes. So Delhi has just scored 350 points, the maximum that you can score from a question on this round. What a great answer.
Beautiful answering there. The last two questions of this round coming up.
Right. Question number 5. In the year 1998, Tata's acquired Littlewoods. Right. So what we want to know is what was Littlewoods known as across India. So what was it renamed as? That's the question. Direct for the leaders right now, Ahmedabad Intellects.
It's an open auction on Tata brands, basically. Abhimanyu doesn't want to let this pass.
Chopper stop.
He's missed it. Passes to Jan.
Say woodlands.
Not woodlands.
I would say this is landmark.
Well, at least that's a quizzing answer. The quizzer's answer.
Mumbai. This is west side.
And that takes the geeks off 0, and they get a superb, what is that, 150 points? No, that's 200 points. Well done, Pradyumna. 250 actually. Sorry, my mistake. It just gets a little difficult to keep track of the score. 250 points. Which means all the teams except the Wizards are off the mark. All right, Ujan, you're direct. 8-year-old's tweet. Why do your baking instructions only speak to women? This tweet resulted in an iconic brand updating their Arabic instructions on more than 100 products to gender-neutral nouns and verbs. And the campaign, the kitchen is for everyone. Which brand is this? Ujan
Kitchen is for everyone. Big clue there.
I'll say Betty Crocker.
He says Betty Crocker, and he denies all the other teams big points with that. This is beautiful, beautiful, tight quizzing. Betty Crocker is indeed the right answer. We're done with the first 2 rounds. Let's look at the scores. A new leader, the Aces with 450, but very close behind. Ahmedabad Intellects with 400. Right behind them, the Brainiacs with 350, the Geeks with 250, the Erudites still on 50, and the Kolkata Wizards yet to open their account. But there is now a strategic break, a short 2-minute discussion between the players and their team directors and team managers, where leaders will be told how they can hold on to the lead, and those at the bottom of the scorecard will be given all the impetus to come out all guns blazing in rounds 3 and 4. Don't go away, we'll be right back with the second half of the first quiz of the Pro Quizzing League Battle of Leagues.
All right, so we are back from the strategic timeout, and now we are ready for the second half of today's quiz. Round 3 is called Don't Shoot the Messenger. Now, this will be a combination of round 2 and 3 in a way, wherein we'll have 6 two-tier questions. We'll have 1 direct for each team, like in the previous rounds. Remember, for a direct, it's a plus 200 or a plus 100, depending on how soon you get your answer. And for a pass, it's worth 100 points. Right, so this is also a guest quizmaster round. So let's have a quick look at who our guest quizmaster for today's quiz is. So today's guest quizmaster is Mr. Dilip Chenoy, who's the Secretary General of FICCI. Previously, he was the Managing Director and CEO of the NSDC. What a pleasure it is for all of us to have him as the first guest quizmaster of Pro Quizzing League Battle of the Youth. Here's the first question for Team 1.
This is an early logo of Nestle, which was made in 1868. What change was made to it in 1988 to be more relatable to most families? So the early logo of Nestle, and what change was made to it in 1988?
Right, so direct for the Chennai Erudites, what change was made to this logo?
Sometimes these changes are so subtle you miss them over the years, right?
Absolutely, because this looks like the Nestle logo. I can't really tell.
So I will take a clue.
Okay, so he's going for a clue, which would mean the question is now worth 100. The clue is it was done to keep up with contemporary demographic trends. All right. That should help him work it out. The 80s, demographic trends.
So I would say, since it's talking about demographic trends, I would say they changed the number of birds, the baby birds in the nest, because families were becoming more nuclear, and it was more a close-knit family instead of a joint family, like smaller families.
Looks like he's picked up from the clue, and that is the right answer. Wow, Dhruv, did you even notice this?
No,
I don't think I've ever counted the number of the chicks over there, so to speak, but I never noticed that whether there were 2 or 3. Did you?
No, but it's very well worked out. Even if he doesn't know the answer, it's a very good workout. The clue actually did help. All right, Pradyumna is ready. 250 points for him so far. Second question of the third round.
So this is a fun one. You'll see in this picture, you have to identify who is this person seen here in his 500 square foot office in Masjid Bandar after returning from the Middle East in 1957.
So that's his office in Masjid Bandar in Mumbai, 1957, after returning from the Middle East. Who is that?
This should be an easy one.
I'll take a hint.
He goes for a hint, reduces the number of points. A character based on him has been played by Abhishek Bachchan.
This is Dhirubhai Ambani.
So thankfully, he didn't say this is the person who founded Reliance, as he's been wanted to do for the first part of the quiz. Well done, Pradyumna and the geeks. This is indeed Dhirubhai Ambani. 350 points for them. And now there's more competition at the top, which makes it all the more exciting. AJ, what's the third question of the third round?
So let me go to the next question. And in this picture, you will see which alliteratively is named high-flying eccentric billionaire seen on the cover of Time magazine in his later years. Who is he?
Right, so who's on this Time magazine cover? He's given a clue, alliterative name, high-flying eccentric billionaire.
Yeah, I'll take a hint.
He takes a hint.
One more biopic hint.
Scouring through the Leo DiCaprio films in his head.
Delhi, I have to pass
I'll
now.
guess Gatsby.
It's not Gatsby, it passes to the Wizards.
Is this Howard Hughes?
And that means they're finally off the mark. Well done. He says a little
Good
prayer.
answer, and well done, Ayush and the Kolkata Wizards. They're off the mark with a very good answer.
All right.
So we now move to a logo, which has been created as a result of the fervor of the Swadeshi movement. Which bank's original logo can be seen here?
That's a simple blue and white. Which bank's original logo is this? This is a direct question for Ayush Patni and the Kolkata Wizards. Is he going for it or is he taking a clue?
Hint.
Start to work out.
He goes for the clue. Interconnected links in gold and white on a blue background. Now everybody's eyes are going to close and people are going to try and think of the logos they've seen a million times.
I'm trying to do the same, Dhruv.
Abhimanyu's covered his entire face. He can't bear to be seen thinking. Unfortunately, passes to Abhimanyu.
I think I'll guess Andhra Bank.
Andhra Bank is the incorrect answer. Passes to Jan.
That was my guess. Well, I'll guess now. Allahabad Bank.
Allahabad Bank is also the wrong answer. Passes to Diganto.
I'll guess Allahabad Bank.
Allahabad is incorrect. It passes to the erudites.
I would say this is Canara Bank.
And that is the right answer. Well done. Well done, erudites. Now that's a scorecard much more worthy of a quiz of this stature. All right, AJ, fifth question. Take it away.
This is more of an interesting one, and this is the first ever mock of which Bangalore-based startup.
Right, so we're looking at some mock-ups of a Bengaluru-based startup. This is going to be a test of eyesight for some of the teams.
Certainly for me, and I've given up already. I failed the test.
A Bengaluru-based startup, and definitely something which a lot of these participants would have used.
I think I'll take a clue. I'm not 100% sure on this.
Right, he's going for a clue. Founded in 2014 by Kabir Biswas, Ankur Agarwal, Dalveer Suri, and Mukund Jha, and is funded by Google. So definitely a big name.
I'll guess Dunzo.
Dunzo it is.
Dunzo, and what a good answer. Absolutely bang on. Dunzo it is. And now we move to the last question of round 3.
I think Abhimanyu had an idea it was that. He just didn't want to risk it, went for the clue.
Very well staged. I was unsure between Swiggy and Dunzo. So.
Okay. Reasonable confusion to have. Okay, Ujan was leading at the halfway point. Can he regain the lead with the last question of the third round? Let's see what it is.
This testament belongs to which principal businessman turned philanthropist who lent his name to element number 102? Just to clarify, that's the element number 102 in the periodic table. So this testament belongs to which principal businessman turned philanthropist who lent his name to the element number 102?
But the last 2 questions of this round have been eyesight tests. It's very beautiful handwriting. Which businessman turned philanthropist who lent his name to element number 102? That's something that quizzers know pretty well. They know their periodic table almost by heart.
No, I'll take a clue.
He's gone for a clue as well. 1896, the year he passed away. It's commemorated annually. So he's got a huge timeline hint.
Alfred Nobel.
He's gone for Alfred Nobel, and that is the right answer.
And he answered it pretty nonchalantly. To be honest, Alfred Nobel is the right answer. So great quizzing there, and he goes back into the lead. Ujan, Dhruv, what are the scores at the end of round 3?
All right, you've got the erudites on 250, the geeks on 350, the brainiacs also on 350, wizards of the mark, they're on 100, the intellects on 500, and once again leading at the end of round 3, the Bengaluru Aces, but only by 50 points. And we are going back once again to differential scoring in the last round, which means you're going to see wild swings in the differences between scores. AJ, tell us the rules of round 4.
Right, and we are ready with round 4, which is appropriately called the final frontier. The direction in this round changes. We have 6 questions, which means it goes anti-clockwise. There's a direct for each team. The differential passing is still there for this particular round as well, where every direct question is worth 100 plus 50 for each number of passes. And of course, the direct question, like we said, is worth 100 points on the first attempt. All right, so let's go to question number 1. We go anti-clockwise, so we will start with the leaders, which is the Bengaluru Aces. Here's the first question for Ujan. Okay, so we have what I'd say is a bit of a sitter. We're looking at 3 logos. What would come next in these series of logos?
You're calling it a sitter. I'm still wondering what it is.
I'll say Baiju because the Indian team sponsor. Yeah, cricket team sponsor.
Well, it was that. I thought
and
so.
he got it bang on.
Baiju's.
Very good answer.
All right, which means now in anti-clockwise order, you've got Abhimanyu and the intellects with the second question of the round. Ujan getting his on the direct. Let's see. Question 2. Which priceless entity that hasn't lost its topicality even after all these years can be connected with these images? So images of 3 people and a logo. Abhimanyu looks forward, peering, all the teams looking deep within themselves to try and find the connects. This is where quizzing excellence and real brightness really comes to the fore. It's anybody's game now.
The Amul ads, the topical ads.
He's gone
Yeah,
With Amul.
Amul ads, and he's right.
topical ads, probably.
Fantastic answer. I had no clue on this. He's worked it out really well. We
Sylvester
figured out
Dikana.
Sardar Patel and Chan Benegal. But
Anand.
oh, that Sylvester Dikana.
Oh, that really is well worked out. All right, the third question. Ayush, clutching his fingers in nervousness. He knows he's got to get this. And he knows he also has to rely on a bit of luck and hope that the other teams falter so that he gets a couple of high-scoring, differentially fast questions. But for now, his job is simply to answer the third question smooth and direct. Let's see what it is. AJ, take it away.
All right, question number 3 for Ayush and the Kolkata Wizards. Right, so the first man to lead 2 Fortune 500 companies at once, former most desirable husband in Japan, and these are the clues. You see Michelin, Renault, Nissan, and another logo over there. How will Ayush connect all of these to get to the answer?
Well, no faces or no photographs of actual people in this round, or in this clue.
We'll have to rely on connecting all of these companies together.
Pass.
He passes. It's tough to be in his shoes right now. It's not easy. A lot of pressure, people watching. Pass it to Partho.
I'll just guess Jack Ma.
Goes for Jack Ma, and that's incorrect. Pradyumna, who's also on 350 right now.
John Lennon.
Not John Lennon. Well, he thought out of the box. Perhaps a bit too much. The edit's thinking hard.
It's mine. Sorry, I did not hear my name. Yeah, so my answer is Akio Morita.
Akio Morita, all good guesses, steady guesses.
And I'll just say Momo Fukuhando.
Fugando, another expected guess. Abhimanyu.
This question's worth 350 now.
I'm guessing Carlos Ghosn, or I don't know how that last name is pronounced, but that. I remember he was CEO of Renault or Nissan, one of those, and there was a large screw up that happened. So, and I mean, kind of guess because I do not have any other guess aside from that.
He can let go of his breath now because he's right. It is Carlos Ghosn.
350 points. Wow.
Look at him. He can hardly believe it himself.
950. What a score to be on. 950 in the inaugural quiz of the ProQuizzin League Battle of the Youth. And of course, the last logo was a Mitsubishi. He's figured out the connection. And he was unsure about how the last name was pronounced. But who cares? He's gotten closer than all of the other teams. And that gets him 350.
Well, for 100 points now, it's going to be Partho's direct. Let's see. Which Indian conglomerate can be connected with these images? 4 images again. There's a member of the animal kingdom. That's 2 members of the animal kingdom, in fact.
If I may say, at least.
Everyone staring hard. The Brainiacs.
I'll say Tata.
Says Tata. It's incorrect. Passes to Pradyumna.
Is this Kirloskar?
It's not Kirloskar. Passes to the erudites.
Is it Biological E Limited?
No, I'll pass.
And it's to the intellects once again.
Is it Mahindra?
Are they going to try and recall?
Not Mahindra. Wizards.
Is it Bajaj? Bajaj.
He says Bajaj.
Because Chetak, I'm thinking horse, Chetak, Bajaj Auto, I remember. So that's
You
why
have
I'm saying
Bajaj Auto?
But this is a big moment here. If he's right, it's a huge moment in the quiz. If he's correct, this is a big moment. He's right. Can you believe what's happening here, AJ?
Super. He's got 350 points and gone on to 450. What an inspired answer over there.
He's
And
leaped into
he's got
third
to
place
focus.
with just one question.
And a round of applause from from the other participants as well. That's so nice to see.
Well, let's take a quick look at the scorecard. It does look like Abhimanyu and the home team, the Intellects, are going to walk away with this today, but there's plenty to fight for in the rest of the table. You've got scores of 450, 350, 250, 650. It could go any way. It depends entirely on what the last question is and how late it is answered. All right, AJ, we're down to the last two questions, right? What do the geeks have?
Right. Question for the geeks. Look at the scores: 250, 350, 350, 450, 950, 650. What a cracker of a quiz we are having. All right. Which resident of Turin since 2018 endorses these brands? You're looking at the logos of the brands on screen. Let's see if the geeks have an answer for us.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
And he says Cristiano Ronaldo, which is the right answer. So he gets 100, but he also saves 350 going around.
The happiest person on screen is Abhimanyu with the Intellects.
He's sitting pretty at 950. And now we move to the last question of today's quiz.
250
Dhruv.
points to the erudites. The erudites on 250. Let's see what the final question is. All right.
Absolutely proved. 350 points going around.
The last question. Which pocket-friendly, yellow-colored brainchild of a Gujarati chemistry grad, a universal favorite, can be connected with these images? 100 points, begging to be taken by the erudites.
So, do you need the brand or do you need the person? So the brand is Nirma and the person is Curzon by Patel. You need an
He seems very confident.
yeah. NU is Nirma University. That picture is of Curzon by Patel and his daughter Nirupama Patel, who died at the age of 11. So on whose name Nirma came. That's formula is, I think so, of the first Nirma salt, and Lafarge was acquired by Nirma or something on the other side. But yeah.
Well, that's what you call a geek freak. You've got the Greek freak in the NBA, and you've got the geek freaks right here. This is the indeed Nirma. 100 points, and that means we've reached the end of the quiz. Well, I'll tell you one thing, AJ. I wouldn't want to be in the seats of some of these people. The way the scores have gone up and down, up and down. I'm just happy that every team has answered, and all the teams can claim to have answered at least one question that would have got the others clapping for them. So it's been a good outing overall. All right, AJ. What is the final score in the very first quiz of the Pro Quizzing League Battle of the Youth? The brand and the biz quiz is over. AJ, tell us the final scores.
What a quiz we just had. Ups and downs and people leading rounds and so much drama right till the last question. So winning this quiz quite comfortably in the end, but wasn't leading throughout. We have the home team, Abhimanyu from the Ahmedabad Intellects, with 950 points. What a wonderful way to kick off the Pro Quizzing League Battle of the Youth. Coming in second with 650 points is Ujon from the Bengaluru Aces. We have two teams on 450, the Kolkata Wizards and the Mumbai Geeks. And on 350 points, we have the Chennai Erudites and the Delhi Brainies. So what a phenomenal first quiz for the Pro Quizzing League Battle of the Youth.
But this is just the beginning. That's because all these teams are going to be clashing again and again across a variety of quizzes, because as you can see, after the first match, the Intellects have taken 6 points, the Aces have taken 5 points, the Wizards 4, as well as the Geeks because they were tied, and the Erudites and the Brainiacs share 2 points each. So that means the league table is right now completely wide open at the beginning. You're going to see some of these faces again. You'll be seeing new faces, people who are experts in their field. Like I said at the very beginning, these are the brightest young quizzing brains in the country. There is no equal for this set of quizzers. It's been a pleasure and an honor for me, along with Arijit Sen, AJ, to bring you the first of the PQL Battle of the Youth quizzes. We'll be back again very soon with the rest of them. And you can be sure that this league table is going to be very dynamic. It's going to be shifting, it's going to be changing, it's going to be throwing up lots and lots of possibilities, which is exactly what quizzing is all about. The ups and downs, the highs and lows, the excitements. We are going to be there with you through all of it. Stay home and stay safe, everyone. We'll see you very soon for the second quiz in the 2021 Battle of the Youth from the Pro Quizzing League. Take care.